a study on the feasibility of permeable concrete as a paving material for flood reduction. What is a permeable concrete? The permeable concrete is a high porosity special type of concrete used for concrete flatworks, which allows the direct flow of water from rainfall and other sources from a site and thus reduces the flow of groundwater. The prevalence of flooding in the Philippines has caused multiple problems in its economical and social aspect, as the use of drainage systems are ineffective due to it being clogged constantly and with little to no maintenance. In this study, permeable concrete was considered as a possible solution to the prevalent problem of the country because of its infiltration ability. Will permeable concrete be effective in flood reduction compared to impermeable concrete? Is there a significant difference in the infiltration of water on a permeable concrete pavement compared to an impermeable concrete pavement? Will there be a differences in the infiltration of water on a permeable concrete that has been exposed to degradation resulting from an impact and heat? Is there a significant difference between the physical qualities of permeable concrete and impermeable concrete? Let's find out. The study conducted experiments to compare the durability and infiltration ability of permeable and impermeable concrete samples. 3 samples each underwent 4 different treatments, wherein test 0 was solely for the infiltration test, test 1, test 2, and test 3 went through force exposure, thermal resistance, and combined force and thermal exposure tests, respectively. Before testing its infiltration ability, proceeding the test, the collected data were sent for analysis and results were interpreted to be that permeable concrete is a feasible alternative paving material, but has a disadvantage of durability when compared to impermeable concrete. This is our conceptual framework. Permeable and impermeable concrete samples and 3 tests, which is thermal exposure test, combined exposure test, and no exposure test. And that 3 tests will undergo to the infiltration test, and therefore we will know if it is feasible as a paving material for flood reduction. Based on the studies conducted, it is ascertained that permeable concrete can indeed be a method of flood reduction, owing to their ability to allow the occurrence of infiltration as opposed to impermeable concrete due to the following. In the direct infiltration test, involving both tests of samples, impermeable concrete is unable to allow the infiltration of water, which demonstrates the main difference between impermeable and permeable concrete. From this, it is concluded that permeable concrete is an option for use as a paving material for flood reduction. In the heat exposure test, both types of concretes demonstrated a minor improvement in their durability, while demonstrating a lack of difference in their mass when compared to the impact exposure test, wherein both samples featured a reduction of their mass afterwards, and in the case of permeable concrete, in the infiltration test, after exposing the samples to heat, infiltration rates remain unchanged across all samples from both forms of concretes due to the lack of change in the mass of samples. However, when testing for infiltration following the force exposure test, the permeable samples show a small increase in the infiltration rate, while the test has allowed infiltration to occur in the impermeable samples at a sluggish pace as a result of the structural damage that impermeable samples had suffered. The researchers can therefore conclude that permeable concrete can be a viable option as a paving material for flood reduction. However, there are aspects where permeable concrete falls behind impermeable, such as durability, wherein while both concrete types experience damage, samples which presents in the conclusion, permeable concrete is feasible in low-scale developments, while it is not feasible in high-scale developments.